depending on how they answered earlier. So here I have now there's no unconditional jump in Software Product Magic, but you can make one. If 1 equals 1, okay, so if the numeric value 1 is equal to the numeric value 1, then do this. So it will always, if it reaches this question, jump. And if it hasn't reached this, it's because previously in the script it's jumped to this question, which was up here. And again, this one, I have two situations. I have a yes situation where I know the soil type and I can evaluate and go to the end. Otherwise, I need to come down and ask this. So get the answer to the question, yes or no. If they say yes, stick 4 in there. And now I check if 4 is in there, jump to the evaluation. If it's not, ask the final question that we need to ask. And again, this gives us a no, then it's a medium, yes, then it's a deep silty. So that's 5 or 6. You know, let's remember the numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So the flowchart in various places has jumped to this evaluation, or if it's come right the way through, then it would have arrived here anyway. Now I need to add the values up. Now there's an interesting situation here, and I will explain it. You will notice that I have put a 0 in front of each tag that I want to add up in this mathematical formula. And the reason for that is that when you use conditional jumps and jump questions, they have no answer put into them. They have no numeric value put into them. They are just empty. So if I didn't put that 0 in there and we had skipped that question, then that gets replaced, if you like, with absolutely nothing. And mathematically, the whole equation thing gets a bit screwed up, and you end up with a situation where you've got 1 and a number of plus signs after it, and it doesn't work. So basically I've just put that back in. So to get round that, I stuck a 0 in front of every number. So because mathematically that 0 is going to get taken out in the end result. You know, if you add 0, 1 to 0, 3, the answer is just 4. It doesn't put the 0 in. So those zeros, although they do nothing mathematically, they make this work properly from a formula point of view. And to be honest with you, the first time I put it in, I didn't think to do that. I just put in V1 plus V2 plus V3, and it didn't work. And so to figure out why it didn't work, I made a test HTML file, put it in the folder where all the others are, that just put out eval1, and then on this screen I told it to load that test thing, and then ran it through and saw what it was doing and figured out, if I put zeros in front, that'll sort it. So there's a sort of a bit of a debugging tip there. If you ever get stuck, one of the quickest ways to solve something is make yourself a text file with all of your tags in it, and then just output that and look in it, and you can see what everything's been set to. So it's a great way of solving problems in your sort of scripting. Okay, so what we're going to end up with is eval1 is going to have a numerical value from 1 to 7. And it shouldn't really be possible for them to end up with 0. But if they answer, I think if they answer that last question, no, it can, because I've taken that out, it can't really happen now. But so, last screen, I'm going to put those files in the Windows temporary folder because they don't need to look at all of the files. They only need to see the one that is appropriate to them. I want it to display a file, and in here you'll see I have put whatever the value of tag eval1 is, .html. So if you remember how that worked, if it ends up on soil type 3, which was shallow soil, it will, the number 3 will be in eval1, so it will load up 3.html when we run the program. I stuck a graphic behind just to pretty it up, change the colour of the text, all the usual stuff, and we ended up with this. Oops, I'll just get that onto the screen. Here we are. So, question 1, if you remember, is it mainly peat? If I say yes to this question and go next, then it's going to basically go straight to the end, and it's going to say you have peaty soil, and I'm done. If I had said no to that, it's going to ask me the next question, is the soil dark and stains the fingers? So I'll say no to that. Is soil over chalk or other rock? I'm going to say no to that as well. Moist and gritty. Let's just remind ourselves on our thing where we are now. So we're here. So if I say yes, it should ask me this question. And then if I say no, it should ask me this question. And if I say no again, it should end up on medium. So I'm going to go yes, no, no for this demonstration. So yes to that, no to that, and no to that. And there we go, I have medium soil. So that is basically how to do a sort of a flowchart situation. If the people that are going to struggle the most with this are ironically people that have done some programming and have done flowcharts before. Because Software Product Magic, as I pointed out in the eCalorie video, processes sequentially. So, and the way that the jumps work values the things have no value at all when they're not asked. So you have a few interesting scenarios that you kind of have to think around. But as with anything, it just takes a little bit of thought and you can achieve the result that you want to achieve. I've obviously done a relatively easy flowchart here, but it still had some interesting yes and no situations and that sort of thing. I think the important thing is that you want to try and plan these things out so you're always progressing forwards. You know, you don't really want to have to do backward jumps unless you can help it, and if you do, you need to plan them out carefully so that you don't end up in a situation where you could possibly get stuck in an endless, sort of an infinite loop because of the way that you answer things. But this, as I say, this came from a support query. I decided to do a video just to sort of clarify, because I think this opens up some other possibilities with Software Product Magic. You know, you could do anything that helps people make a decision in business. You could sort of give them a process where they can answer questions and it will help make the right decision. So you could do something that, you know, say it evaluated a business they were going to take over. It'd be quite a nice way of asking certain questions and then sort of saying yes you should invest or no you shouldn't. And you could obviously open this up in any niche at all. You know, you can ask the questions, anything about production, for example. You could ask questions about the type of thing they're trying to produce and then suggest the correct production method, give them information on it. You could take it a whole load further as well. If you were doing that, you could ask for dimensions of things along the way and even output, you know, complete information about the best way of production and what they'd need and the sizes they'd need it. So, you know, you can take this as far as you want to. I hope that's helped you, and I hope it gives you some ideas, and I hope it opens up another angle of things that you can do with Software Product Magic. Thanks for watching.